Hello, the endless void that is the internet, and welcome to Schedule 1. With its recent update, they increased the chemist assignment from 3 to 4, making a lot of things simpler, such as I changed the layout of my barn to have the cocoa plant farm, the cooking baking section, and the 8 mixture setup all in one area, including the beds for my employees, my 10 beds for my 10 employees. This also frees up the second floor of the barn, allowing you to make it to whatever you want. I made it as a area for me to make samples for new potential customers. And I would like to add that even if you're still not in the cocaine business, let's say you're still in the meth, and most likely you are if you starting out to buy the barn, you can still use this layout for your meth business. All you need to do is change the cauldron into chem stations. And when you do get into the cocaina, to swap them out again for the cauldrons. And if you don't have the capital yet, you don't need to buy everything at once. You can start out small, like 1 or 2 mixtures, then you add them to become the 8 mixture setup. First of all, I will start with a tour with some explanation. Then later on in the video, I will show a step-by-step guide on how I made this layout, and then how I made the assignment for each helper. And with that, let's start with the tour. Let us start on the south side of the barn. Here, we have our 10 beds for our 10 employees. Over here, we have our coca plant farm. It has 12 pots and 4 drying racks. It is being taken care of by 2 botanists. So once the coca leaves have reached premium quality, it will go to the 4 cauldrons, and you can guess it, we have 4 ovens. So each cauldron has its designated drying rack and oven. Once the base cocaine or cocaina is done drying, it is put to this shelf by the chemists. As you can see, the chemists are now putting it in the shelf, and a handler will transfer the base cocaina into this mixing station along with the mixing ingredient to this mixing station, and it will go and on until to the 8th station. My current layout is for an 8 mixture drug. You can turn this into a 9 mixture, but you will need to do some changes. I will go more into detail about it near the end of the video, but for now it's going to be an 8 mixture layout. So for this workflow, you will need 2 handlers and 4 chemists. For the chemists, they are assigned to 2 mixing stations, 1 cauldron, and 1 oven. For the handlers, you will need to use all 5 of their routes. So which will be from the shelf to the mixing station, from the shelf into the mixing station, and so on. And you will have 1 handler who will do the packaging. You will also use their route to do the same thing, where she will pick up the baggie from here to here, and the final product is placed here. I have a 3rd handler which is him, whose job is to transfer the gasoline from that shelf into the 4 cauldrons, meaning he has 1 extra route, and I use that route to transfer the final product shelf, which getting pushed, which is this one, just to transfer it here, so that the first shelf doesn't get filled up easily or fast. I also would like to add, for over here I forgot to mention that for the botanists, they have 6 pots, and 2 drying racks assigned to them. So 8 of their assignments are filled up. 6 pots, 2 drying racks each for each botanist, and I have 2 botanists. So with the tour done, let's do the step-by-step guide. As for the assignment, in the cocoa plant farm, we have 2 botanists, and each botanist is assigned with 6 pots and 2 drying racks. And each drying rack will receive leaves from 3 pots. Let's say first, second, and third pot will go into this drying rack. Fourth, fifth, and sixth will go into this drying rack, and so on. Once the leaves have reached premium quality, the drying rack will send their leaves into their designated cauldron. In this section, we have 4 chemists with 4 cauldrons and 4 ovens, so that each chemist will have their own cauldron and oven. As you can see here, once the cauldron is done cooking the leaves, it will be sent to the lab oven, which will be baked and turned into cocaine, which will be sent to the shelves over there. See here, large storage rack. For the mixing stations, I like to keep it simple, so I just assign 1 chemist to 2 mixing stations that are next to each other. And then I set their threshold to 10 and their destination to the next mixing station. For the handlers, always remember, you always start the route from the storage. So for example, this guy, he starts from this storage, which he gets the base cocaine into this mixture. And his second route is to take from this storage to this mixing station, and so on and so on, until he reaches his last station, which is this one, which is from this storage into this mixing station. As for your second handler, here she is. You will assign the same, but when you get to the last one, it will be the packaging station, where she will get the baggies from this shelf to this packaging station. And that's why I prefer the 8 mixture setup, because you only need 2 handlers. Because if you do the 9 mixture setup, you will need at least 3 handlers for it to be fully automated. Hello, it's me again. You probably noticed the beds and the farm were swapped during some clips of the video, especially during the montage. It was because I didn't want the botanist to be walking from the entrance of the barn to the end of the barn, so I swapped the beds and the farm. Also, I forgot to mention, both botanists have the same storage supply, so they get their soils and seeds from this storage. And regarding the 9 mixture setup, for the reason why I went with the 8, because it's like I said, it's simpler, easier to do, easier to stock up, replace the stocks, and you have to make a choice for the 9 mixture in regards to the employees. You either get rid of the cleaner and hire a 5th chemist, or you remove one of a cauldron or an oven. For me, I would remove an oven from one of the chemists, from your 4 chemists, so that it frees up an assignment for the 9th mixture. And you also need to transfer the 3rd handler into the mixing section. Because remember I said, because he had an extra assignment, my 3rd handler has an extra route, which was just to move the packed product to a different shelf. Yeah, then you can use that route for the storage to the mixture on the 9 mixing station. And that's pretty much it. Sorry if this was kind of messy. This is my first time doing these kinds of videos, like a build guide. Still learning. I need to work on like framework or a skeleton for these kinds of videos. But I hope it was helpful for you and you learned something. Thanks for watching, and I hope you continue enjoying this game.